How are we doing today, guys? Thank you once again for joining me on Viper 9 Toy Videos. Today, I have the relatively new G.I. Joe Real American Hero Duke First Sergeant from the new Super7 Reaction Plus line. So this is taking their 5-point of articulation figures, adding articulation to mimic the original Hasbro O-ring G.I. Joes. This particular Duke doesn't come with any of his classic accessories. He does come with the, I think it's like the XLRM laser rifle, and then the headband control device that he wears in the Sunbow cartoon. I think it's the Pyramid of Darkness. I can't remember. It's been so long since I've watched the cartoons. Please don't come after me for that one. I just can't remember which arc it is, but he fights in like the battle arena, and him and Snake Eyes both have the headbands. On the back of the card, it does show some of the other figures. Ramar is the person that Duke fights, because he is also a gladiator there. And the Fate of Fluffy, this is the first time either of these two figures have ever been made in O-ring form, or ever, I believe. And unfortunately, I never was able to track either one of those down. My Target never got them. These are Target exclusives. And I drug my feet on getting them online. But if anyone has any hookups on those two figures, please let me know. I'm real hesitant on buying a lot from this line. I do have the Tomax and Zammot. I kind of mildly want the Serpentor. The Cobra Bat I want to open up and take a look at. But Super7 is tackling some things that Hasbro never touched base on. For example, Ramar and the Fatal Fluffy. The Serpentor is more of a cartoon accurate. You know, the Bat's more of a comic book accurate, as it says right there. Same with the Snake Eyes. And then the Tomax and Zammot are in their business suits. Hasbro did do those once before, but it was like Headman suit, and it wasn't mirrored. They were the exact same suits. Here is the file card for Duke. You could go ahead and pause that to read that all if you want. But let's go ahead and get this Duke off the card, see how he feels as an O-ring figure, see how Super7 did in making O-ring figures. I was really disappointed that their Cobra Fortress didn't get funded a couple years ago. I was really looking forward to landing that. I don't know why it didn't fund, if maybe they just didn't offer enough, if people didn't appreciate it. You know, it was huge, so I don't know how it could be a size thing, but I'm just not sure overall what really went on with that. Go ahead and get that bubble completely removed from that card. Get that thrown over there, and then here is the Duke. Get him, popped out of that bubble. And get his rifle out, and that headband out. Headband does have a little bit of flexibility to it, not much. Does have some actual pretty decent little detail there to it, if I can focus in on it. Come on, camera. There we go. I think I'm getting it. Maybe. So it does have a little bit of detail on it, which is kind of surprising because it's very, very minute on there. There you go. And then you have the precision laser rifle, as they called it, on the packaging. One thing I did notice is this does have a very large handle on it, but I did notice how they combated that on the figure himself. So he does just have the swivel head, no ball joint head like the 85 G.I. Joes started using. So just a swivel, and that is extremely tight. He does have the classic shoulder, elbow, and swivel elbow articulation that the G.I. Joes added in 1983. The swivel, that is. Everything else was from 82. And then he's an actual O-ring, so no faux ring there. An actual O-ring. So the articulation is just like you would expect from your classic G.I. Joes. The head swivel is extremely tight. That's not wanting to move at all. I did mention how big the handle was on that, but if you take a look, they have actually changed the dimensions in their hands on that, so he can hold the rifle with that bigger hand or handle. Hold that rifle just a little bit better. Does he have... Okay, so a lot of the secondary companies right now that are coming out, they're not doing G.I. Joe, but they are doing O-ring figures. They have actually added forearm swivels so you can get better gun holds on your rifles there. I'm not going to say I hate this figure. He does have some definitely interesting attributes. The muted tone colors are kind of interesting. I do like how they've opened up the hands just a little bit, especially where they did make that handle so much larger. But one thing that I'm going to do here real quick, I have here a 1983 Duke. I believe he was 83. And so we're gonna do kind of a comparison here. Let's take it. So yeah, 1983, 1984 Duke. Let's go ahead and... I don't know if that's his correct helmet. I just happen to have it. I think his is supposed to be a little bit darker. So if you take a look, you know, the paint apps, he has a lot more brighter colors, where the original Duke is a lot more toned down. A little bit of different detail on him. Actually, substantial bit of different detail on him. And if you know what I had mentioned about the hands, if you take a look at the hands there, original G.I. Joes were notorious for getting their thumbs broken off by trying to fit the rifles into their hand. In the 2000s, when they relaunched G.I. Joe, they kind of battled that a little bit. Instead of hard plastic, they were a little bit softer plastic, if not more of a rubber feeling to them. So the thumbs were a lot more forgiving. But there you have it. There is the original Duke that was a mail-away figure when he first got launched, compared to the 2000, I think, did they launch in 2024? Duke from Super7 Reaction. I don't know. My heart still lies with the original. The new ones, I'm excited to see what Super7 can do, but I just don't think you're going to be able to really top the original G.I. Joe. So right there, guys, I think I'm going to go ahead and leave it with, hit that like, smash that follow if you haven't already. Shout out a big Yo Joe right there, and thank you for watching.